Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're calling from. Just a little housekeeping. Some people are still just dropping in. Please, find that question box. Drop your name in there where you're calling from, so we can give you a shout out or see who's online. This is the IQ4 SmartMount installation system weekly workshop. So we're just going to get a few polls going as everybody gets settled. We'll just launch the first one right now. Pretty easy. Do you currently install IQ Panel 2? Pretty easy question. And we're off with 90% saying yes, 91, 92. Lots of people. Lots of people still just getting settled. So we'll leave this poll up for just a few more seconds, and then we'll just get through the next few, and then we'll be handing this off to Mark to do the presentation. So there we go. We'll close this one off now. 90% currently installing IQ Panel 2. That's good. Here we go. How many of you installed an IQ Panel 4? Hopefully it's a big number. It's still, it's similar to some of the recent webinars we've done. About 20-25% have used IQ Panel 4 so far. So that's great to see. And obviously that's going to go up as we continue this transition to our new flagship panel. We'll give that one 2 more. So what percentage of your customers would want a black IQ4 panel? So you got some options there. It's something we are building the black panels, and we're just trying to get a better gauge on what kind of usage I think we underestimated the original usage, so we're just trying to see. All right, so very interesting. About half, less than 15%. But strong 30, almost 40% envisioning using the black panel 25 to 50% of the time. That's great. This is the kind of information that helps us adjust our forecasts accordingly. So thank you very much. One last poll. What percent of your installs are currently a table or counter mounted? Okay, pretty strong right out of the gate. So about half, again, less than 15%, a little higher than half. A decent amount between 15 and 25. So it's good to see that we are definitely we're definitely on the right track. We given different options, and different things that Mark's going to discuss today about the IQ4 SmartMount installation system. So I'll just give that one more second. We're going to close that poll. Thank you very much. And Mark, off to you, my friend.
Hey, thank you, Neil. I appreciate it. Once again, we want to just, say we give our support and gratitude for on this Veterans Day, Day of Remembrance, or Remembrance Day. So thank you. But yeah, I am very excited today to talk about SmartMount a little more in depth. Very cool little system we have here with the IQ4 panel. We know that the IQ panel, it's always been packed with amazing features, but this is definitely one that I am, excited about. We're going to talk about. As many of you know, I want to just put it out there. With the IQ2 panel, there was that learning curve of mounting the panel, specifically related to closing it properly. And we would get feedback over the years of, hey, this panel, it's hard to open. We would see technicians try to use a screwdriver sometimes to open it, even scrape it up. And, it was even more difficult to close. And we would end up sending technical account managers all across the world, teaching technicians how to close a panel properly. We'd go into businesses sometimes and see an IQ panel on the wall, and we'd walk over to it, and sometimes it wouldn't be closed properly. And I'd just, push down at a 45-degree angle and snap it in. We would share videos, on Facebook and, throughout, emails and whatnot to teach people how to close it properly. And for the IQ4 panel, we developed the SmartMount concept. It came to pass, and it really came to pass thanks to the voice of the customer, which is you guys. That's what we call it, voice of the customer. You are our voice. And we worked with installers and dealers, all across the world in developing this, getting feedback from hundreds of people. We ran a beta program, getting this panel out into homes of technicians, and, relying on feedback. And not only have we gotten feedback, but we even now there's things we want to improve in the SmartMount system that we will be improving. But to kick this off, we're going to watch a video on this. And also, just so you know, so some of these videos we're sharing today, we will share links to videos, just because we know that in a webinar format, they do not always play, clean. So look for those links also. So a nice little teaser video there. It kind of goes through the 3 different, mounting systems that we have. And, as we go through these today, give us your feedback. If you have any questions, please chime in. And, we have the team there to help answer questions. As we know, every panel, you open the box, it comes with that quick guide, usually gets thrown away. It's 5 steps, but the first step is what we're going to focus on today. And it starts out, the first step, as the wall mount. With this panel, you're going to want to use a small Phillips screwdriver, and we have some best practices with this. I don't know if you guys can see my camera, but there's different screwdrivers out there. You got your standard screwdriver. Up in Canada, what they call it, the Robinson or the square head.
The Robinson.
But with this panel, yep, the Robinson. Thank you. What we recommend is a long, skinny Phillips to get up in there and for the mounting screw. So you'll see that the little wall mount here, but that's what we recommend. You mount this wall plate. It's made to fit on, on a gang box if needed, like a double gang box. And we're making some improvements for it. But you'll see here, one thing I want to see is use flathead screws. So I'm going to share a video with you that we put together of mounting the wall mount. All right, guys. So a couple of things I want to touch on with the wall mount. Like I said, this is our smart mount system. Really easy to just put it on, slides on, put in a screw. But some best practices. First one is this: to use a flathead screw. Something like a drywall screw, but avoid those button head screws. And the reason why is, especially down at the bottom, if you use a pan head screw, it doesn't, because of the speaker box, it doesn't allow the panel to close tightly, and then it makes it a little harder or more difficult to tighten in that locking screw on the bottom. So that was the first. That's the first, pro tip I want to share with you. The second one is just when you're connecting in, if you're using wire, you're doing a takeover, you're sliding wire into the toolless terminal block. Is remember the top is negative, the bottom is positive. It's marked right in front of the holes. Can be a little difficult to see if you're not, where it's at, but that's where it's at. And they just slide in very easily. The other thing you saw in that video is to not over tighten, especially the bottom. If you over tighten that, it's going to cause it to push down, which can make it a little harder to close this system. I do want to say that just as we develop this, getting a lot of feedback from dealers and installers, as we've launched the panel and had thousands of panels go in, we've already gotten some good feedback, continued to get feedback on things that we want to improve in the future with this SmartMount system. And one of them is, as you can see in this picture, is we're going to add additional ridges into the plate. Right now it's kind of flexible. This is just an image of a 3D rendering of the ridges we want to make this plate a little bit more stiffer. You can notice we added an additional middle hole down at the bottom, and we actually added some standoff on the back of it to allow it to stand off the wall a little bit there in the middle. And we also added some clips. These are 3D renderings, but we're hoping that when panels start shipping in the early 2022, that we're actually even going to have a more improved wall mount. And this is just voice of the customer, and this is stuff we get when we do trainings. Tech support gives us feedback. Our Facebook pages, really good place to go to learn about the panel, to ask questions. You got the Qolsys and alarm.com installers, or our official Qolsys tech support or technical page. And then, TAMs and the technical sales managers give us feedback. So we really love the voice of the customer. That's what allows us to improve the panel over time. And, as we future-proof the panel, it just allows us to make it better and know what you guys want. So we love feedback, good, bad, whatever. It allows us to make improvements. So that's something we do look to do coming in 2022. The next thing I want to talk about is this table stand option. I've got one here, very clean. These days, not everybody wants something on their wall. I was at ISC West and we were meeting with different dealers around the country, and they were talking about how with some of the labor shortages we've had, they're saying, man, we want to speed up installs. And we still want to provide professional install, but for the first time ever, I heard multiple dealers in one day bring up, moving to more desk mounts, just to save time. Still do a professional install, have a professional come in there and make sure it's working properly, tested, but using a table stand. As you saw in the first video, this slides on very easily to the panel. I have a black back plate here just so you guys can see the contrast of how easy this slides in. This would be the back plate or the table stand. It slides right in, goes on, and then you just do that locking screw on the bottom. So very easy. And we're going to watch a brief video on this also. So as you can see, very simple with the table stand. The one thing I want to touch on is running the power. If you look at the bottom, and I'm using the white with the black just for the contrast here. But if you can see my camera, you'll notice there's a little gap here, and that's where your power is going to run through. So as you slide this on and it goes down, you're going to have that gap to allow the power cord to run through and plug in the wall. So that's the one tip I have for you on the table stand. And the next thing I want to talk about is our speaker, the IQ base. This is a really awesome option. You know, more people are, you know, like sound in the home. This speaker allows you to have more of a bass with your system, and we're actually going to have a workshop coming up soon that's going to go on how to stream music over the system, and people that especially have a bass would want that. But this is going to add, you know, bass to the voice, the chimes, Bluetooth audio streaming, just make your panel even better when it comes to sound. So here's a quick video on the IQ base. So once you get it plugged in, I guess the one thing with the base I want to mention is that you're just connecting this smart connector into the back of the panel, then connecting it on, doing that lock screw. The one thing is that your power is going to go through the base. So you're just plugging in the barrel connector into the bottom of this IQ base, and then just plugging it in the wall. Move on to step 2, which is powering it up, you know, and then holding that side button down for 3 seconds. And that is the different mounts of the IQ base. Like I said, in a future presentation coming up in the next couple of weeks here, we're going to talk about more of the speaker system, the sound, and the music you can get out of this system. Neil and team, you know, Mark and Kevin and so on, any good questions that came in from the field or anything else you guys would want to touch on with the IQ base? Or any of the mounting options?
No, it's been pretty quiet over here in chat. Joel, Kev, you guys haven't?
No, I was beginning to think most people forgot about the questions.
Well, you can see that's how simple it is. It is very smart. It is, like I said, we knew with IQ2, there was difficulties there. We got lots of feedback, and we took that to heart, and we've done, you know, we I think took the right steps in the SmartMount system. It's very simple. Like I said, we're continuing with that wall mount. We're going to continue to make some running and real-time improvements that'll probably kick in January. You might see a different mounting wall mount that comes with panels starting then. But we want to thank you guys for getting on. Like I said, if you have any feedback, please leave a comment and or ask any questions you want. But thank you for attending this this webinar, this workshop on the SmartMount.
Just as a reminder, there will be an after workshop, quick little survey just to give us some feedback and let us know where we should focus. So thank you again for joining. I think we have answered all of the questions. So I think we're good. So Mark, great job. And everybody enjoy the rest of the Thursday.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yeah, next week we will be talking, I will be talking about the panel camera on the IQ Panel 4. So, join us next week, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you, guys.